Hi there, I'm Tim and he's John. This is How to Murder Blocks, a Minecraft adventure.
Hello.
Watcher.
Yeah, we're back. You've
I'm
been
super
busy.
excited. I've had a Minecraft mood, and over the last couple of days I've been quite prolific. So yes, welcome to the new kingdom of Explodiania. It's all been go here. So let's start with the mana core, my old nemesis. This is a device I've been using. Yes, here's version 3. It's grown a bit. Well, yeah, I've been having a lot of misfires lately, and they tend to happen at around 1:30 in the morning on a work night. And then I push the button to generate that last bit of mana, and then it blows up, tears itself to bits, and takes me about an hour and a half to fix. So about 3 or 4 nights in a row of this, I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to fall asleep at my desk if I keep this up. So thought, time for another redesign. So what I've done here, you may notice the prodigious amounts of obsidian. So the central core is pretty much the same as before, after I rebuilt it 3 or 4 times because it kept blowing itself to bits. The problem was every time it went wrong, it was taking out these elven mana splitters and the lenses and the flowers and everything, and they're all quite awkward and fiddly to reproduce. So I thought, the clever thing to do, see, the important piece of information that I was missing all along and only just really learned is that the explodium flower, the entropinium, does not need line of sight to the explosion to do its job.
That sounds quite important.
Yeah, I wish I'd known that earlier on. So what I've done is I've redesigned the exterior section with these little pits now, these blasting bomb pits, which is essentially an almost entirely enclosed box of obsidian with a redstone signal going inside. And I've changed that chiselled obsidian at the bottom to be the one that goes off the little planty flower thing underneath. Anyway, long story short is that if you get 16 TNT out of the box, I'll explain the box in a minute as well. I'm very particularly proud of the box. So put it in the other box, which I broke and had to work out how to do B-space tuning forks. So I've been learning a lot this week. I'm an engineer now. Engineers are cool. Anyway, stick those in there. This works just like before. Drop them on the top with the planty flower up the top there. You can see them bouncing up and down. That then places them on the tiles inside the little bomb pits, which we'll see what's happening as we go. You can hear the crunch, crunch, crunch as it's placing them. The important safety tip here, if anyone's going to build one of these at home, is do not press the button until all the bombs have been placed from the flower up there. You can see no more bombs floating there next to the flower, so that's all good to go. See a bomb in each of the pits there, look, see at the top? TNT. So we've got the usual trail of redstone around the exterior to ignite it all, and that's all connected to a normal button. I would let you push the button, but you pushed it before we started the show and managed to blow my new impervious design up, so I'm going to push the button. Here we go. There we go, the usual hissing. Boom! Yeah, we hop inside. You see the flowers are still where they were before. There we go, all 16 beams pelting down like mighty power generating mana rays from everything. Don't stand in the middle, you'll get superpowers. But yes, the flowers are now safely the other side of an obsidian wall from where the exploding goes on. So even if I bollocks up the timing and the bombs go off without being captured by the flowers and actually do destructive damage, there's almost nothing they can actually blow up except a piece of redstone, which is a lot easier to replace than 16 elven mana spreaders and 16 entropiniums. Anyway, that's all gone into the pit, beamed out through the spark with your little recessive whatnots on there like before. That's going to something new and interesting. Come over here, follow me. So out to the capture pit here, this one then beams it to these little spreaders. I might need to rejig this section here, it's not terribly efficient, but new lenses on everything. I've got combination potency and velocity spreaders on there now, which basically makes them fire. The pulse loses a little bit of energy but gains a great deal of speed, so the overall net effect is much faster throughput, which is good. And I've done that for all the ones inside the pit as well. This evacuates in 12 seconds now, the cycle time for all that. So these beams are going to this new object here that I read about and found, the mana flux field, because we're having all sorts of problems with your factory up on Mount Doom there. So what I've done is did the research, found this cube here. If you shoot this cube with a mana beam, it outputs RF energy, redstone flux, onto an attached thing. I'm using a basic energy cube here, which is, as you can see, totally full. I think it fills this cube in about 10 cycles of the blast pit. Ooh. And then that goes out. You see, I had to use the green one here instead of the wooden one. That pipe, that energy beam pipe thing goes off and through the mountain and up to your big fortress, connects into your energy grid there. I think I wired it up to the right place, but basically that's powering all your gadgets as well now. Because I tried some other experiments with power up there, and I'll show you those in a minute, and they just weren't cutting it when we were trying to use that laser table thing to make the chips. It just sucks everything
Yeah, that
dry.
takes ages.
It doesn't anymore. I was making stacks of 100 chips during the week, so of various types. They're all in the AE system.
Oh, excellent.
No, I've so converted to engineering. Magic's for chumps. Actually, Magic is powering everything at the moment, so a fusion synthesis is the way to go. I've also been topping up the irregular mana tower thing anyway. So yes, and this whole little gadgetry on the end here has given me an idea that I'm going to implement going forward as well. Because this is a bit of a jury-rigged mana to energy system, but I've come up with a much better plan. Going to build a special facility over there in the pit.
If we took a redstone signal of this pit here and only let the button be pushed if this is empty.
Oh. But then you'd have to.
Would that stop us ever?
Possibly, but you'd need to automate the placement as well somehow.
Yeah,
anyway, I've basically converted us to an entirely TNT-based economy, as you'll see over here now. I've got a new box. See this box? Check the little progress bar on there. It's an upgrade you can do for the drawers, which has a little how full am I bar along the bottom. It's quite a little nifty. Anyway, that goes underneath here. Got rid of my little dynamite, my TNT gunpowder garden there. Goes under the new road. Oh, by the way, I put a whole new road and highway and bridge system in. Follow the road to the end, to our new facility.
Oh, God, there's a whole new farm.
A whole new farm, here we go. This is Explodio Makers. Observe the sign there. Please do not startle the crops.
What have you been doing?
Right, this is it working? Is it working? Yeah, it should be. Right, so just stand back here and watch. This is me basically making robots obsolete. In the future, we won't use robots; we will use musical instruments. Here we go.
So we're dropping potatoes.
Dropping potatoes onto the Gorgomelinendis thingy, which is filling that pit, which is prepping that redstone thingy spreader over there. Next to it is a floating hourglass. It's another Britannia thing, which I think is immensely useful for all sorts of stuff. You know that nonsense.
Does that replace all my timing circuits?
Yes, it does.
I love it.
It just hovers. It hovers there. You fill it with sand. The sand and the number of blocks of sand determines how long it takes to run through and flip over. If you use red sand,
100 of them.
Well, yeah, I'm going to mass produce those probably. It's nearly empty. Wait for it. Boom. See? Do you see?
Oh, no, auto harvests.
Well, I've got a hopper hock underneath.
Yep.
I've got to show you the underneath gubbins as well. But basically, yeah, it doesn't burst everything, but then it still seems to be faster than your robot. It has the added advantage of not going on strike and sitting on the charging socket at 19% for 5 days. So, yes.
That was on the wrong socket.
I don't know what.
To switch the socket.
I didn't touch any of that.
Came back from.
I didn't touch any of that because I don't understand robots yet. But yes, basically, so every time this little egg timer thing empties, it sends a redstone pulse to adjacent object, which is the redstone version of the mana spreader. It's the pulse mana spreader, which then fires a pulse which hits the drum, which makes a boomp noise, which then bursts plants within its vicinity. Now, the reason I didn't know if this was going to work from the start is because I thought it would burst the entire crop stick and pop the seeds and everything, but it doesn't. Apparently that was fixed fairly recently in the Britannia stuff.
Okay.
So it now only effectively harvests rather than pops the entire plant out. You'll see, here we go. Boom. It doesn't seem to pop everything. It must have a certain capacity, and it can only burst so many in radius every time. Perhaps we hit it like once every 10th of a second, it'll just churn through the whole lot. Trouble is, I'm trying to run a sort of sustainable thing here, because this mana pit needs to. If this mana pit empties, then the pulse spreader has nothing to fire, which means it can't pop the drum. Yeah, so I've sort of kind of calibrated it and worked it so that it seems to work reasonably well with the times it's got. We could probably up the speed, and who knows? Anyway. But it's greatly improved by my new understanding of pipes. Apparently there are these things called transport pipes, you see, and they move things from one place to another.
40 episodes. Anyway.
Come and critique my pipe work. So I built a whole load of stuff on... Now I understand pipes. I'm shocked by the nest of horrors under your mountain. So here's what we got. I've tried to use one of every pipe because I was teaching myself how it all works anyway. So basically, hop a hock down the end here, which is familiar from your farms up on top of the hill. Basically, scoops up anything lying on the ground nearby.
The gates?
Yeah, that goes into the chest here. This is well, I sort of learnt monkey see, monkey do from the ones you got everywhere up there. They seem to replace the little steam engine you have to plug into every side socket there, and I don't fully understand all the options inside one of those, but I just copied what you had and it seemed to work. So
Yeah, these ones don't need options, they just need to tell it to pulse.
yeah, so wooden pipe to extract, diamond pipe there with a sorting system. So we got fire and earth essence go into this one. We got the creeper essences go into that one. So that one makes sand and that one makes gunpowder. They come out the bottom, combine, go up into this system
got an
here.
iron pipe under there to join.
Iron pipe for the join with the correct directional thingy. Yep, stop stuff
How long
back
did
down.
that take you?
No, I think I remember that from vague experiments with pipes a long time ago. But yeah. I had to put this in. This was an addition because it turned out that it's a bit temperamental and was tending to make sand much faster than gunpowder, which meant it was clogging everything up downstream. So what I did is put a double compartmented drawer in here. You see, you got thousands sand in one and zero gun. Yeah, exactly. And then on top, the emerald pipe is using a round robin extracty thing. Basically, it will only pull out correct sets of materials so that it can be turned into TNT. So what basically happens is I'm overflowing on sand, but it's voiding that anyway, and then time it gets gunpowder, it puts together enough to make a TNT and puts it out the pipe. Goes into here. I put two in parallel. I mean, there's capacity to expand down for 3 or 4 or 5, depending on how much. 2 seems to be keeping up. I don't know. Let's have a look inside. That one's basically full. Yeah. The second one is more or less empty. Yeah. So 2's enough for what I've got at the moment.
And you're voiding if you have any excess.
Yeah. If it go. Yeah. I don't think I shouldn't need that now that I've got the emerald pipe pulling precise amounts. The voiding should be happening in this drawer here. But I thought I'd try the void pipe. That was working quite well to begin with when I had too much sand going everywhere. That comes out the bottom. There we go. You can see TNT being produced. Goes down in the pipe. And then it goes off under the wall, follows along under the road, and eventually ends up in the bucket in the big barrel next to my manacle.
That's cool.
Up here is anything else goes into this chest, just in case things accidentally get dropped in the area. Doesn't care. Yeah. My spare auto benches in there that I thought I'd need more. Spare sand in there for the timer as well. And this one up here, this blue exit void pipe, is just getting rid of poison potatoes, because that's something you have to deal with if you're harvesting potatoes. Not all of them are normal potatoes. I'm not sure what happens if you try and feed a poison potato to a flower that eats food for man.
I don't know.
I don't want to find out. But I don't care about poison potatoes, so I'm just destroying them. That's all rather elegant. I had to raise it up to go up there. I suppose if I was being particularly finessed about it, I'd be using quartz and stone pipes to run along the same bit so they don't join.
You can also use pipe plugs.
Yeah, they seem a bit ugly, really. If you got the option to use just the correct sort of pipe, it's a bit more elegant, I think. But look, see, sandstone pipes.
Yes.
Sandstone pipes deliberately do not connect to machines. That means you can run past a machine without actually plugging. Because the mana spreader seems to take pipe connections for some reason. I'm not quite sure why that would be. What object you could stuff in or out of a mana spreader? Who knows?
No, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And maybe that it just has an inventory.
Clay pipes attached to all inputs. They bounce anything back if the inventory is full. I'm learning lots about pipes. Anyways, this whole thing has basically been running about 2 days without any kind of manual intervention. I had to tweak the proportions of the crops a bit. It was making a little bit too much sand and not quite enough gunpowder, so I sort of swapped over the ratios a bit. I did work it out mathematically, but it turned out not to work quite the same way it should on paper. If you see
Did
what I mean.
maths not work?
No, it was correct maths, but there's some quirk about how the drum harvests. It doesn't seem to uniformly pull them out in a normal ratio. It seems a bit sort of hit and miss as you see it. I don't know what criteria it uses to decide which ones it's going to harvest and which one it doesn't. But you could have multiple drums, or you could greatly increase the frequency if you can produce excess mana into the pool from somewhere else. And run the potatoes to power itself. Basically, it is self-contained, fully automated.
That's good.
Yeah, so I can basically, as long as this area is loaded, which if I'm anywhere near the mana reactor, I've got this is up and running as well. So that then just stuffs as many blocks of TNT as possible into this this chest here. I've got 1,500 of them in there, and that's not bad for about 2 days worth. You can see it ticking up slowly. I mean, it's not vastly productive, but it's doing one every 2 or 3 seconds. And I'm going to need that because I've got big plans. I've got a new facility I'm going to be building over here at some point as well. You can see the initial groundwork laid out. Ooh. This is going to be a reactor that uses explodium and entropy flowers to directly produce RF without bothering with mana pools or anything. Look in there. I reckon I can blast 24 bombs per cycle. And they're all wedged really close and will have proper lensing, which means that it'll probably extract a bomb in about 2 to 3 seconds. So 24 TNTs every 2 to 3 seconds piling straight into RF. If you come down here...
We need a much bigger farm.
Oh, well, I reckon I'm going to need to swap these quartz pipes for the gold ones. Yes, well, we'll see. This is an exercise in theoretical lunacy. If you hop up here, you can see the underneath of it all. I've got another one of these cubes attached to the bottom. I'm probably going to need the bigger cube. I reckon I'm going to need at least the blue one and possibly the purple one, but we'll get to that. This is all sort of conceptual stuff at the moment. There'll be flowers all around the walls, and I'm going to try something different for the exploding. Instead of that flower planting stuff, I'm going to be using dispensers to drop bombs, lit bombs down holes. The dispenser... vanilla Minecraft block, if you put TNT in there and trigger it, it chucks the TNT out lit. and I've already done a small little mock-up experiment, and it will chuck it into a specified hole. The stuff falls down the hole and goes bang near the bottom, which means even if I bollocks up the timings, although with 24 of these spreaders nearby, there should always be something ready to receive the incoming blast. And I should better have that run as a continuous cycle. Going to have a circuit of bomb drop shafts. So they'll get a bit like your timing circuits, but with bombs. So the plan is to have bombs firing continuously and continuously producing enough RF to completely flood a gold kinesis pipe at all times.
This scares me.
Ambition. I know. I think you've unleashed something horrific with this whole engineering and pipe stuff. So that was part of my week, anyway. I've taken the liberty of doing quite a lot of rewiring up on the top of the mountain as well. So anyway, how's this doing here? Oh yeah, still got 2 million in here. It ticks down. See, this is mostly all your machines sat there idling, I think.
Yeah, some of the machines idle and take power, some don't.
If you mouse over that, you'll see the thing counting down. That's. I don't think you've got anything running up there. I think I turned most of it off. So that's just, it's going to get through that much just doing nothing up there. I don't know, you can possibly make it all a bit more efficient.
I have found that if you create a loop, sometimes that'll just eat up power.
Oh, fair enough. We got power to spare though, because we're running. Everything's powered by bombs now. Hang on, let me just. Let's stick another 16 in the file. This part of it still requires automation. There's still a manual broken link here, and I'm a bit nervous about automating the resupply and ignition systems, but we'll have to see. The pit itself is so much more resilient now, though, so we're open to more experiments without me blowing up all the spreaders and flowers every time it goes wrong. So we could try some timed stuff, and that floating hourglass thing is actually pretty precise. You can specifically define to the nearest second how long you want it to take.
That's good.
So we can count this section, time it, and then just have the thing going off every so often. But knowing precisely how long it should take. Might do lag and things could be a problem. Anyway, so that's all firing. That's all firing nicely. That'll be charging up the cube again. So
I think we're going to need to take...
I'm open to improvements. I'm new to a lot of this engineering stuff. There's probably better ways to do some of it.
Putting a safeguard in is the first step to automating.
Yeah, something that detects...
We need to know when
if it's safe to push the button.
Doing stuff,
What, so the empty pool could be a trigger? Yeah, who knows? You don't really want to... Oh, that pool in the middle, I don't know. That one... No, because that empties itself very quickly with that spark on there. I don't know. Anyway, something we can look at. Let's go up to the mountain. So, I've got a new road. New bridge, yeah. Yeah, I was going to have a go at finishing your ME interface down here, but I didn't really know what I was doing with all those bits.
Oh, we just need to put a crafting terminal down there.
Yeah, I probably don't need the pattern buffer and things.
Where did the other robot come back from? He was sitting on the wrong thing, and I had to move him over to the other thing to make him work again.
I don't really understand robots yet. Don't know. Oh yeah, I found this.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, well, we've already needed it now. I've completed that quest, so check your book.
Cool.
But yes, I went on a bit of a nether exploration to find that last missing thing. Mag system things we were doing last time. Oh, you've moved them about a bit. Fair enough.
I was experimenting with what these power things do, and I brought this down because it needed to be brought down.
That was the metal former that only runs off of the power that comes from this system. You made another solar thing, by the looks of it.
No, I got given some solar things for completing a quest.
Oh, I'll probably complete that one as well and get more solar things. Right, so...
And I've got that as well.
Okay, just before you fire all that up, come and have a look inside here, because I saw it, we sort of made it and then laid it out because it looked cool, but it wasn't actually doing anything useful, so I connected it all up and then I made another thing. If you come and have a look in your rat's nest of weird redundant piping.
These pipes go somewhere.
Observe the Energy Bridge RF out. That is a IMAG Academy craft, I think the mod is. That's an IMAG thing that takes IF from a connected node and outputs RF. That was my first go at trying to improve the power situation. I thought, well, let's make the widget that converts one to the other. It's doing nothing now at the moment. As you can see, the pipe's empty because you're overloading the connected network, probably. But yes, you can move that. Take it off, put it somewhere else, or just don't use it at all if you want to keep the IF system separate, whatever. But there's mechanisms to turn RF into IF as well. Is it IF or whatever? Basically, that block can be tweaked to become the opposite. If you see what I mean, it will take RF in and output to a node. So you can interchange between the wireless power system thing we're looking at most recently and your normal steam boilers and whatever. It's probably not doing any good there. Then if you've reloaded it, feel free to bust that off and reconfigure as you need. I fixed your furnace up there. There's a furnace. Your furnace had it had coal in both slots.
Oh yeah, sometimes it goes wrong.
No, I fixed it. If you connect the input pipe to the side of the furnace, it uses that for fuel. Whereas if you had it on the back, so I think it was putting that in the top. So you see, I rotated it basically, and now it all works fine. There was a huge backup of oils in here, and that's all gone through nicely now. I've added a pipe to the side of the bloomery furnace. That should be popping up with charcoal now. So that thing seems to only work on charcoal instead of. I was trying to put coal in and nothing. Yeah, it was all very confusing. Let's see, what else have I done?
You killed the coke oven.
I don't know if I didn't touch it, but it may have inadvertently died as a result of other buggering about. I'm not sure.
And the blast furnace.
Did I? I haven't touched those on purpose.
And the iron tank's not formed. There's loads of stuff here which is no longer formed.
Don't know. I haven't been doing any blasting up here, and I haven't really touched these large objects because I don't really know what they did. But
odd.
Don't know.
And now I've recreated it. It is formed.
Oh, some sort of weird server blip, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what those were doing there. I didn't know any better. Oh yeah, look, there they go. Strange. It's lost all its formation on multi-block for some reason. Yes, you can get rid of this nonsense. We don't need these anymore. Floating hourglass will do that.
Yep, that's good. Yeah.
I'll make a load of those and stick them in the system.
Because it breaks constantly whenever the server loads.
Yeah. Right. I filled these up. I don't even know what they're for. But I noticed it had some fertiliser, which was what it was asking for, so now it's got a load of biomass in one end.
Yeah, I'm going to have to move them anyway, so... that's a fair
some sort of half experiment, I thought, yeah. I haven't been up to the top floor there, I didn't want to touch any of that. Let's see, what else? Right, down here, I've currently wired this vat up to make quicklime in industrial quantities, and that was quite useful. So we got a ton of magnesium dust in the drawer. Basically, it was smooth limestone in the top of there. I could probably have automated it even further, but it did the job. Basically, if you stock smooth limestone in the chest at the top there, it will keep dumping out magnesium dust on the floor underneath. Oh yeah, have you seen the underneath? I've created proper access and safety crawl space here. Look, hatch, ladder.
You're no fun.
Sanity, order, progress. So that weird rat's nest you had.
A bike goes nowhere.
Yeah, some of them I thought you'd left as bits to go somewhere or do something with. That's an input, I guess. I don't know. This, come here. This one here is the input from down mountain for the energy.
Okay.
You see it going off into the distance there. So if you do need to reconfigure or reroute that, that's where it all needs to go. Yes. Oh, I've fueled lava into the crucible furnace. You may not necessarily want to do lava in there all the time. Oh, and lava into a new device as well. I'll show you that.
You're stealing lava from the system.
I assumed you were producing infinite lava on demand, so I've been piping it off to all sorts of places. Yeah, so this is basically a magnesium dust production system, this vat. It was... I mean, the bottom wooden pipe just dumps it on the floor, but the hopper hock nearby chucks it back in the system. So I thought, I can't be bothered with more more pipes than that. Floating hourglass here on this smelter. I think I was using it to make titanium ingots. That all goes back into your system there somewhere, I think. and that's the ruttle ore and the magnesium dust was going in there, so I've massively stocked us up on that. This is the new thing, this one here. It needs either lava ore and or water, and you fill it with either sand or snow, and that basically changes bees' temperature and humidity tolerances over time. Takes quite a bit of energy to do it. That's necessary because one of the bee quests needs us to make a apiarist suit, which needs silk from the carpenter thing, which needs silky propolis or whatever it's called, and that only comes from jungle bees, but the jungle bees don't have a jungle biome. It's all wasteland out there. I mean, I've provided them the trees, but I needed to modify their tolerances so that they'd work in a wasteland environment and use the trees. Long story short, we're basically very slowly producing stuff to tick off that bee quest thing.
Excellent.
We'll get there. Load of magnesium dust in here now. I worked out how to make wrought iron, and then I was using that to make vast quantities of that enriched iron stuff. And I've just made loads of different sorts of chips and things off of this table. I stocked up a load more of the gates that I was stealing to use as well. A lot of the stuff I've made has gone into this system here, so do check here before you commission loads more stuff, because there's probably some in there already now. I think that's mostly it. It's been a quiet week, really. How about you?
Have you been to work?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's my current gaming malaise. I just ended up pottering around here quite a lot, really, during the week, which is good.
Excellent.
So we're back where we were. Lots more efficiencies and stuff. I made another windmill, but and stuck it on the roof. I think I wired it up right, but it didn't really seem to be doing the job. So in the end, I decided to convert my massive, insane mana core to produce RF instead, which is far more satisfying demand. And I've got plans to make a proper reactor for RF that will basically facilitate us needing to build a massive building full of batteries or something. So yes, over to you.
And with that, this is the end of the episode. You've taken an entire episode to explain what you've done in admittedly the last 3 weeks as we haven't recorded for a while.
Yeah, wow, gosh, I've forgotten what our original goals were as well. There was probably something to do with like Thorncraft or I got distracted.
Last episode, so yeah. Anyway.
I'm an engineer now, so engineering's cool.
So join us in a couple of days when we're going to get back to those machines over there and see what they actually do.
See you next time.
Goodbye.